I gotta wait. How long I gotta wait for it to press record?
Go.
Welcome to the shed, where Miss Dreme always has a story.
It's Dreme, and we got a season 2. Your Black Bostonian here, a product of a single mother who I work to make proud every single day. I'm a 3-degree holder, your veteran educator, your tech entrepreneur, and founder of the Chair platform. My platform is dedicated to supporting Black and Brown people on their hair journey by creating hairboards, connecting to hairstylists, and sharing haircare tips for a more joyous experience. My podcast is about sharing hair stories, educator stories, entrepreneurship stories, and stories surrounding identity with goals to leave you laughing, learning, and advocating. So come in and listen to the stories in the chair.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Mitch. Mitch, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey, what up, beautiful people out there? I'm Mitch Gaines. That's Gaines with a Y because I'm a little bit gay. No E because we stopped doing E in the 90s. I am I don't even know what to call myself at this point, a multi-hyphenate, multidisciplinary millennial. I'm currently, I guess, a basketball coach and youth mentor and basketball referee. Before that, I was a graphic designer. I did some communications writing. I worked in software startups, professional sports. I hosted a podcast of my own. I was a political organizer, professionally and non-professionally. So I've worn a lot of hats over the years, but I'm just Mitch, I guess, at the end of the day.
How would you define shame?
That feeling that you have to hide who you are, any part of you. But that's, to me, like, that is the beauty of articulation. Through articulation, you can eliminate shame. I mean, we're seeing this with our president right now. All he does is talk through it. People joke all that. He's just tweeting his way through the presidency. Like, absolutely. He's shameless. And all he does is articulate the fact that he's shameless. And it works. I've been doing it for a long time, and it works. Now, sometimes, like, you end up in positions where you do shit you probably wouldn't have done otherwise because you're like, could I get away with this? You know what I mean? And that's where we are with the president.
Is there a difference for you between shameless and audacity?
Yeah, I think audacity is... I guess there's similar conclusions at the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Please.
Audacity is building yourself up to the place where you have found the confidence to take that risk.
Okay.
Shamelessness is building yourself down to the place where you're not going to feel bad about taking that risk, win, lose, or draw, because it doesn't really matter. It's not going to change how you feel, because how other people see you doesn't impact how you feel.
Can you give me an example?
So, like, not that long ago, right? This is a perfect example of shamelessness in, like, a light context. I feel like we've been doing a lot of heavy stuff. Not that long ago, I was the proud owner of a BMW X3. And while I was driving that BMW X3, I drove Grubhub as, like, my main income. Like, I didn't have a job. I didn't know what I was doing in life. I was, like, driving Grubhub, figuring out how to, like, rack up enough money to buy an engagement ring for my wife. I say that to say there are very few people who could be doing delivery work in a BMW and not feel shame about it. I felt great about it. My AC was great. Most comfy seats I've ever had in a car. Had that, like, panoramic moonroof. That shit was rocking. You know what I mean? What better job to have than to be in the most expensive thing I own all day? Made perfect sense to me. I felt no shame about that. But when I told people about that, or when I pulled up even, and, like, people would get their orders or whatever who would come to the door, you could see, like, the facial reactions were like, is he like a drug dealer? Or like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why is a BMW pulling up to drop off my burger? You know what I mean? And it's like, well, no, I got a really good deal on a used BMW. Like, yeah, I know some people like fix some shit up, whatever. Like, wasn't that bad. I only had it for like a year before I sold it. You know what I mean? But it's like, in that moment, it feels like something you should feel shame about if you can't articulate those things, right? If you can't articulate why you value a good deal, if you can't articulate why that BMW was a good deal, if you can't articulate why it feels good to fix the panoramic moonroof that got you $2,000 off that BMW because it was broken. Wasn't broken. It was just a little switch that was disconnected on the wiring. Real easy fix. But you got to have the confidence to, like, break that panel and fix the wiring, right? But, like, you got to be able to articulate all that shit. Because as soon as you pull up, you're just another broke nigga pulling up in a BMW and people wondering what the fuck you doing in a BMW. So you better be able to articulate yourself or feel shame, right? When you pull up, the immediate reaction is you should feel shame. Who are you to do that?
Yeah, but that's the projection of someone else's feelings onto you. It's
For sure.
It's when I think about people's arguments about careers where they're like, "Oh, I can never see myself doing that." When people talk like that, I'm like, "You are uncomfortable." But
The only job I will say that about is police. I'll never see myself as a cop, but everything else, like, you should never be above any work.
But I, and so I think about that in terms of when we're having the conversation about shame. It is a lot of projection or being able to not have that confidence. But why I asked you about audacity, because for me, audacity can feel very close to recklessness.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it can feel very close to entitlement.
I feel less sure of the second one. Like, and entitlement to me feels like audacity you didn't earn. Audacity to me, though, is like, and maybe this is just, byproduct of being a fucking black dude raised in the Obama era, the audacity of hope and all that shit. But like, audacity to me kind of is like, it's the byproduct of hope. It's like, it's that feeling like you've convinced yourself that like this could be done. And is that, and entitlement is like, you believe you deserve it. Audacity is like, you believe it could be done and that you could do it. And those are different things, right? Like, you can and you deserve you can do a lot of shit. And you should believe that. And you should have the audacity to go out and try. Or at least the shamelessness or recklessness, depending on where in the spectrum you are. But like, I do think, to your point, like, there are a lot of people with the audacity who then, because they had the audacity for so long and it hasn't worked out, become entitled. They're like, well, I've been trying. I did the right things. I deserve these things. And it's like, no, you don't deserve shit. Like, The Secret was not true. There's no like power of fucking, positive thinking or whatever. You can't just like will that shit into existence. Some things will prevent you from some things. You know what I mean? Like, I am never going to be the president of the KKK. That's unlikely to happen. You know what I mean? I could have the audacity to try, but it'd be a crazy entitlement to be like, I deserve that. But like, I don't know. I could have the audacity to be the president of the NAACP one day. And like, I don't feel entitled to that because like, I know there's a lot of other people with that audacity to try. And so like, I look forward to the competition or whatever. I'm sure I would fail in that race compared to a lot of other people, but I'm shameless enough maybe to try it. And that's what I mean. Like, that spectrum, it's funny you put those two in comparison because that's a really interesting way to look at it to me. It's like, audacity is like the belief that you might actually pull it off. Shamelessness is like not caring whether or not you pull it off and just being willing to try. And so I guess like, yeah, if you carry around audacity all the time and it never works out, yeah, you'll probably become an entitled person. Or if it always works out, either way. But I guess that's why I chose shamelessness over audacity. It felt like less cocky, like less shitty. You know what I mean? Like, you're less likely to become a bad person if you like oopsed your way into it. But I don't know that that's true. Like I said, like, look at our president. That's definitely the route he took to get there. And like, I don't think he's any better for it.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Look, it's my commercial. We will be right back.
It's more than just a bad hair day. It's a journey. Finding the right hairstyle isn't easy, nor is finding the right stylist or the right products. Looking in every corner of the web gets messy, overwhelming, and exhausting. All the ads, the articles, the products, the videos, it shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And now, it isn't.
The Chair.
A black and brown centered platform where you can design hairboards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a new, joyful path on your hair journey. Avoid the clutter, save yourself hours, months, and even years of research and poor trial and error. Everything you need and only what you need is in one place. Hairboards made by people like you, for you. Find the right products, the right people, the right answers for you, stress-free. Join
The Chair.
community and make every day a great hair day. When you share your pain, you allow others to help you. And When you share your success, you help others get theirs. Lean on.
The chair.
We got you.
No stress, no strife. In the chair. The chair. The chair. All right.
I really appreciate that. That was really nice stuff.
Sorry, this is just like a very wide conversation, but I don't get to have conversations like this often. So.
Well, I'm here for it. I'm always here for it. Switching gears just a bit. I'm curious to know, do you remember the first time you fell in love with your hair?
Yeah. So we mentioned all the way back when I was a little kid, right? Like everybody thinks biracial babies is cute. I was super scared to get my hair cut, so I didn't get my first haircut till I was 5. So I had lots and lots of hair. And I don't know when the first time I fell in love with it was, but sometime before that first haircut, because I was not about getting my haircut at all. And 90s were a different time. A lot of people would reinforce that, like, my hair was great hair. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I was very proud of it. Of all the other things people would, like, criticize or, like, have problems about, like, their body identity, I was sure of my hair my whole childhood. You know what I mean? Like, again, until middle school. But, like, my hair was, like, such a source of pride and love and, like, positive energy. We have a running joke in my house with my wife all the time. When she's down, I'll pluck out one of my hairs or whatever. I'll be like, oh, see that? I got negative hairs. That's the problem. And then I pluck out, like, a good solid black one that's not gray. I'm like, that's a positive hair. Take that with you. And I'll, like, put a hair in her purse or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, the positive hairs, man. And it's like, yeah, I really believe that shit. I believe, like, hair carries memories and hair carries, like, part of your soul and it's part of your energy or whatever. And so, like, there are times you got to chop that shit off because it's been a bad time. You know what I mean? There's times you got to grow that shit out because you need a different look or whatever. But, like, your hair says a lot about you. And especially, like I said, like, as somebody who's, like, not to sound like white knighty, but, like, this weird, I consider myself in the middle of a lot of things. I'm not a centrist by any means, but, like, I'm in the middle of a lot of identities, being a biracial, agnostic, bisexual. Like, I'm in the midline of, like, am I gay? Yes, but not really. Am I white? Yes, but not really. Am I black? Yes, but not really. Am I, like, do I believe in God? Yeah, but no religion. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in the middle of a lot of things. And so there's a strength to how, as a man, you're able to present yourself with long hair. It's had a real re-evolution, I guess, in the last, like, 5-10 years or so. I feel like young black men have reclaimed having long hair, and I'm super here for it. I'm excited about it. But, like, for a long time, it was, I went through this era when I chopped off my afro when I was 13 and, like, got into some trouble. I was in juvie and shit. Like you weren't allowed to have long hair. And so, like, I had a fade for, like, 10 years. And, I have a large collection of fitteds to prove it. You know what I mean? Like, I wore a hat every day when I didn't have long hair. Every day. Like, I got in a fight with my mother at the Thanksgiving table about not taking my fitted off at Thanksgiving. I wore it fitted to my aunt's wedding. You know what I mean? So, like, in retrospect, I think I've always been kind of ashamed when I didn't have hair. You know what I mean? I felt most like myself when I had my hair. So, like, when did I first fall in love with it? As, like, a little kid. The first time, like, I probably recognized I had it. First time I felt it curl. First time somebody said, oh, you have the cutest hair in the world. You know what I mean? Like, every time, it's the saddest shit in the world to me that I have, like, I'm balding now. Like, I got a bald spot back here, and it's like, I'm fucking tea tree oil, chia seed, you name it, it's going in that motherfucker. Like, we're hanging on for dear life because, like, having hair is such a part of my identity to me.
You're in juvie, you have to get your hair cut.
I got my hair cut before.
Before that.
Yeah, I was just kind of fucking up. I think my mom felt like that was part of the disciplinary process or whatever, was getting me back in line. Again, I'll let you guess which one's black, which one's white.
So going through your fitted era.
Yeah.
And then...
My fitted game is tough, by the way. I want that on record. Like, I'm not a sneaker guy, I'm not a chains guy, none of that, but my fitted game was tough.
Did you have a favorite hat?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, as like a Boston guy, whatever, like my straight Boston 2014, the year after we broke the curse, when they had the gold B with the World Series champs logo on it, that's like my favorite hat. That's my go-to. But, like, is that my coolest hat? No, close. No. I have a hat from every city I've ever traveled to. I have a hat of nearly every baseball team except for the Yankees, obviously, because fuck the Yankees. Yeah, the fitted collection is deep.
The chair.
Oh, and if you're interested to learn more about my experiences as a Black woman and educator in Guangzhou, China, I wrote my first ebook, titled Nowhere and Everywhere, Captured Emotions of a Beautifully Broken Love Story. It is on lulu.com. Take a read and see some beautiful photography of mine. Enjoy the rest of the show.
The chair.
You're going through high school and you're entering into that world and college. So what is your hair journey looking like during that time for you?
So I'm trying to think when I started growing my hair back out. Probably a couple years after college, like 22 or 23, I started growing it back out. So from 13 to 23, like that decade, that's like the fitted years, if you will. And it's funny because like it's, as it is true, I'm sure for everybody, like those are very formative years, right? Like 13 to 23 is like when you decide your musical tastes and like what, you know, your career path may or may not be in the future, like what you think of your family. Like there's some like real shit that's happening during those times. And so I think at the time I just like lied to myself and was like, this is easier, right? And like, again, like part of like masking myself up a bit, where it's like, I'm tinkering with queerness, right? Sad to say, like being in and out of juvie, like in a lot blacker spaces than I'm used to. So like getting challenged on my blackness in a way I've never been. You know what I mean? I grew up around all white people. I'm the blackest person most people fucking know around where I'm from.
Did your mom at that time had any influence on your hair journey?
No, my mom had no influence on my life. I was telling her to shove it, bro. My mom forgot my 13th birthday, bro. Like that's how bad we were down. Like it was not good. So no, like I think my view on it at that point, once I'd been through the court system a few times, I was like in and out of juvie. Like I knew in juvie that like it's a weird way to phrase it, but like at the time, only the toughest people had long hair. Does that make sense? Like you had to actually, and again, this goes back to my like articulation piece, right? Like my desire for people to articulate is almost like a one-to-one corollary for like the shittiest type of toxic masculinity and their need to like fight it out. Like words are my version of violence, right? So it's like, cool, like you believe that, like let's fight it out, like defend your shit, right? Like stand on business or whatever. But like I don't really want to fight you. But like in that era, like in that era of my life, I should say, the people I knew with long hair were the niggas who would really stand on business and like fuck you up. Yeah, so if you had a long hair in my time and shit, like, that was a bad motherfucker. So, like, I kept my hair real short in that era. We were faded up for a long time. I had a faux hawk at one point. I did rock a blonde faux hawk in juvie. That was mixed reviews. People definitely thought you were gay as fuck then. But this is what I mean. By that point, like, I'd embraced it. I had friends who was, like, hard or whatever. So, like, I had some protection or whatever. I was doing niggas' homework and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I was all right. You know what I mean? I knew how to play the game. This is what I mean. Like, I knew how to play the game. So, like, to me, it was always, like, you can be one part weird for one part normal that you come back to, right? So, like, do you want blonde, spiky hair? Well, it better be a faux hawk, not a skin mohawk, right? Like, you better have a black-ass fade that shows, like, you still a real nigga. You just also happen to play in an emo band. You know what I mean? Like, I look like the bassist from No Doubt. You know what I mean? And so, like, it was a weird, like, conflict of identity that whole time of, like, cool. Like, you have to look a certain level of masculine and normal and mainstream because, like, to matriculate throughout this world, and this world being every part of the world from school when I was, just 11, 12, getting to middle school, through like juvie when I'm 14, 15, 16 or whatever, in and out, and then like figuring out my way through like hard lockouts versus like fucking therapeutic programs and what type of blackness as a man I need to present to actual therapists versus like to people I gotta go sleep next to at night. You know what I mean? Like I have thought more about my identity like introspectively between 13 and 23, I would argue, than nearly everybody else on the planet. You know what I mean? It's like I have a deep understanding, with the assistance of 20 years of therapy, of my childhood. Like I'm very aware of what my adolescence was and how that shaped me. But also, like, it's a curse in that, like, no one else is. So it's like, oh, this is your inner child coming out, but you don't know that. And when I call attention to that, you're going to react like your inner 14, 15, 18-year-old self, which is like, generally pretty bad for everybody involved, right? Like, nobody think about how a 13-year-old reacts, right? What are your options? You're getting yelled at, screamed at, cursed at, or punched. no fun. So like I had to learn pretty early on and very, very frequently from then on that like there's a version of you for every moment, but you better pick the right one. And like short hair just served me at that time that it blended in with who I needed to be. And like I wasn't at a place I didn't have the audacity yet to be loudly and proudly different in that way.
Mitch, thank you so much for sitting in the chair and sharing your stories. I truly
I feel like we
truly
barely talked
appreciate
about hair. Jesus.
it.
Very tangential notes on locks and braids and whatever. See my wedding photos for more details.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. This was excellent. This is the most fun I've had on podcasts and probably ever. So come back anytime.
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dreme always has a story.
Thank you for listening to an episode of The Chair. I'm going to share with you a dream of mine. I would love to be on Sesame Street. Sesame Street held my hand through childhood. In my dream, I would be in my big afro or rainbow braids sitting on the stoop sharing hair stories. I would like your help, please, by doing all the things like leave a review, share it with someone who would benefit from hearing this episode. And if you know someone who knows someone who knows someone at Sesame Street, share your favorite episode with them, and I'll make you some of my famous chocolatey hot chocolate. I hope you have a beautiful day, or if you are like me, still up in the middle of the night, I hope you take a deep breath and rest. Love you. Talk to you later.
The chair.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
Dream, hello. I just wanted to tell you you're wonderful. I just got through going through your podcast. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Keep it up. Maybe I need to send it to Oprah and Tyler Perry. Love you, baby. You are great.
Where we share stories in the chair.